What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Super excited to talk about this topic because I think it's going to be hopefully helpful for a lot of students that are applying to medical school soon and have a lot of nerves about their scores and how that is going to affect their chances of getting into medical school. So with that said, I want to talk about that magic number that all of you see when you are looking up these different schools, and that is the median score of which students are accepted. And the problem is with that score is a lot of students take it as the end all be all, where if you don't have a better score than that, you're not going to get into that school. And that could not be further from the truth. So if you think about it, let's go back to statistics. What is a median? So a median means that 50% of the scores are going to be higher than that number, and 50% of the scores of students that get accepted are going to be lower than that number. So that means if, let's say, you wanted to go to school X and the median score of school X was a 514, that means there's going to be 50% of the students, or 1 out of every 2, that have above that score. But that also means that if, let's say, you got accepted to that school, every time you were looking around, 1 out of every 2 students has below that score. So even if you have like a 510 or something, that by no means means that you cannot get into that school, and you should absolutely apply. Do not let looking up the scores of different schools affect your decision too much about whether or not to apply. There's a lot of factors that go into the medical school application process: your essays, your extracurriculars, how you fit with that school, the location. Is it a state school? Is it an out-of-state school? Is it a state school that doesn't accept basically any out-of-state applicants? Then maybe that's a school you wouldn't want to apply to. These are all the different things that you need to know when applying, and your MCAT and GPA scores are just 2 of them. While they are some of the most important factors, again, it is not the end-all be-all, so I don't want you to take it as such. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that I'm trying to make this clear, that you should not be deterred from applying to a school just because your scores might be a little bit lower. Now, with that said, you should be realistic. Sometimes if you have a score that's, let's say, in the bottom, usually what I like to say is less than 5th percentile of students that are accepted to that school, so maybe 1 or 2 students every year with the score that you have get accepted to that school, then I'm not saying you still can't apply, but those shouldn't be the only schools that are on your list, because then you are just going to be hurting yourself, wasting a lot of money applying to schools that you may have a hard time getting into. So maybe in that case, you may have to consider retaking the MCAT or adjusting your list. But regardless, I have seen many different situations with my students where they had scores a lot lower than the school they actually got accepted to, and so don't be discouraged. Apply to the schools that you want to, and it could also go on the other end. So if you have super high MCAT score, don't be surprised if schools with lower scores than yours end up rejecting you or not giving you an invite. I remember when I was going through the application process, a lot of it didn't make sense sometimes. Schools I thought I'd get interviews at, I didn't, and schools that I didn't expect interviews at, I got. So you really never know. You just got to do the best you can in the application cycle, prepare the best you can by writing good essays, being early, basically being able to share your story in the right way when you're applying. And I talk a lot about this in my program, which I'll actually link below, and I'll be making more YouTube videos coming out on this topic. So drop a comment below if this was helpful and what you would like to see from me next. I'm going to be trying to upload much more frequently in the future. So I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to talking to you all again soon. Thanks, guys, and have a good one. Good luck if you're currently applying to medical school or if you're applying in the future.